Ladies and gentlemen and programmers, we're going to do Code Academy Lesson 10, Part 3, Incrementing While Loops. Okay, so make sure you get out your notes. At the top of your notes, write down 10.3, Incrementing While Loops. Make sure you put your name, and then after you write down your intelligent question, get them signed off. Speaking of intelligent questions, make sure that you go to the Code Academy, and you're going to read Incrementing While Loops. Read this part on the left and write down an intelligent question about what you've read. So read. Okay, so after you get your intelligent question, let's go ahead and jump back and take a look at what the spiel has to say. Okay, write down what is a counter variable, what iterator, also known as iterator. What is that for? What does that do? Write that down in your notes, answer that question. If you don't know the answer to that question, ask me and I will tell you. And then, okay, so we're going to open up. I'm going to let you do this one on your own. I'm not going to walk you through this one. So open JDoodle and save your project as Code Academy 10.3. So we're talking about incrementing through the loop. So in order to do that, you have to have a counter. So create a counter named counter. It's going to be an integer. So declare it as an integer. And then you're going to initialize it to 0. Create a while loop after that. That will print out the value of the counter. So pretty simple loop. It should run the counter until the counter equals 50. But here's something we haven't done before. So increment the counter by 2 each time. So up to this point, I think we've just been incrementing it by 1. So we're going to do it by 2. The code's going to look like counter equals counter plus 2. So see if you can figure that out. If not, obviously, I will help you through it. Okay, so do that in JDoodle and make sure you save your work at the end. Okay, so now complete part 2 and move on to 3. And okay, I think I will do this with you. So let's jump over to it here. All right, so let's do this together. All right, so the first thing says in the coffee.java project, initialize an integer variable called cups of coffee with a value of 1. So we're going to declare it and initialize it. So we're going to come right here to line 6, and we're going to say int, and then I'm just going to press Control V, cups of coffee equals 1 semicolon, and then we hit run. Make sure you do that. If you can do this on your own, do it on your own. But I'm just trying to help you if you get stuck here. All right, number 2, create a while loop that runs as long as cups of coffee is less than or equal to 100. So we're going to come to line 8, and you're going to do a while loop. So while, and then cups of coffee is we're going to use a less than or equal to 100. And so right here, we're going to do our opening and closing curly braces. And then, so inside, we don't want to have an infinite loop. So if we were to hit run right now, this would go on forever and crash the computer. So we don't want to do that. So we're going to increment our counter by 1. So we're going to say, we're going to copy cups of coffee here. And so inside our loop, we're going to say cups of coffee plus plus. Another way you could do that would be cups of coffee equals cups of coffee plus 1. Either one of those 2 lines of code do the exact same thing. I'm going to delete that one. This one's a little cleaner. Okay, so we're going to run that. So far nothing's happening because we haven't really put anything in the body of our loop yet. All right, inside the while loop above where you incur the cost to print the following line. All right, so we're going to click here, hit enter, and then the classic system.out.print line. And then I'm just to make sure it's accurate, I'm going to copy this. Except for that's going to be wrong. So if I did that, it's just going to say, what did I do? Oh, I forgot my semicolon. Okay, so this is wrong. Oh, it's still wrong again. Oh, you know, like parentheses accepted. Oh, didn't put it in. It's expecting string data, and I did not put it as a string. So we're going to stick it inside of quotation marks. All right, let's try that. Okay, so notice what it's doing. It's just doing a 1, 1, 1, 1 100 times, which is not what we wanted. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the 1. We're going to click here. We're going to hit a plus. So we're concatenating. So we're adding string data together. And then so we're going to use our variable cups of coffee. And we're going to paste that in there. And so now we're going to run it, and it should increment. So it should do it 100 times. So we scroll way up. It'll start off with 1 and go all the way to 100. All right, so that should be it. And we should be able to go on to our next lesson. All right, thanks, everybody. That's it for this one. Go ahead and go on to part 4.